Bo, that's a lot of napkins. What's happening?
I'm getting ready for the show.
You are?
Yeah. It's barbecue day. Nate from Secondhand Smoke is coming on. You can never be too prepared for sauce. You just have to make sure that it doesn't get on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a private moment between you and barbecue. Maybe I should leave you to
need
it.
some.
Oh, I
Here,
do?
Let me help
much.
you out, buddy.
Okay.
There you go. You're ready. You're ready for the show.
We'll see if we're able to stay sauce-free later.
That you're doing on purpose, sing like a sing-along key. Talk to the girl that intimidates you, pretend that you're brilliant and charming. I said pretend that you're brilliant and charming. Hey!
That's it. All right, band, you sound great. Awesome stuff. Yes, welcome in, everybody.
Sound okay. They could use a little extra. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, they sound
awesome.
Great, man. You're a movie guy, and I saw this trending on Twitter this morning. People were asking top 3 rom-coms.
Oh, geez.
I know. What do you think?
Well,
what would top your list? That's my question.
Well, I mean, I really like a good adventure rom-com.
Oh,
like you
okay.
go back to the classics like Romancing the Stone.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
okay.
But to me, I kind of like the darker ones.
Yeah.
You know, the Baxter is one of my favorite rom-coms,
okay.
and it's an old Michael Showalter.
Yeah.
Where he's just like the big nerd. And,
yes.
And it doesn't follow the same, you know, Hallmark style of romantic comedy.
Right, it's not what you think of when you think of rom-com. Maybe not your traditional one.
Like someone from the big city goes to the small town,
right.
and the guy in flannel who never did anything with his life shows
that's
the meaning of small
right,
town.
That's the one I love.
Know.
Yeah, that's you know, that's When Harry Met Sally. You've got Mail, Sleepless in Seattle, While You Were Sleeping.
Yeah.
All those. Yes.
So rom-coms a bit formulaic for me, but there's a few that stand out.
You know what stands out is the guests we have on our show today. I'm so excited to welcome back to the studio Randy from the I Am Northwest Arkansas podcast. You remember we've had him on the show several times. He's going to be joining us. Got a new partnership also to talk about, which is really exciting. Yes. And then we've got the music of Dandelion Heart. I feel like that was appropriate, right, for this season of love that we're in. Yeah, Dandelion Heart joining us. And then down there at our chef's table, we've got the one, the only Chef Nate joining us. What did you bring for us down there, Chef?
Got some ribs, some wings, and some plant-based options from the Life menu.
Oh, my God. We're going to eat well today, man.
A lot of things that I need to go over there and eat right now.
Right now. Okay. Well, hang on.
Okay.
We're going to have a commercial break. Stick around, folks. We got all that fun happening later. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We got Randy joining us down here in the hot seat. Randy, always great to see you.
It's good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for
And
having
in
me back.
person. It seems like so many times when you were here, it was via the internet.
That's right. I know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely good to be in flesh again.
Yes.
Absolutely. So.
But you're familiar with that kind of sitting in a dark room by yourself with a microphone, right? Because your podcast, I feel like, is that sort of thing, isn't it?
It really is. You know, to be honest with you, just a shout out to the Fayetteville Public Library. The Center for Innovation has become my second home.
Yeah.
I tell people, I have good microphones, I have good recording equipment. But I can be in any room and record a podcast, but the Center for Innovation, the sound studio there is simply the best.
Well, speaking of that, maybe fill our viewers in who haven't listened to your podcast or seen anything about it yet. What is it and how can they find it and what do you do on there?
Yeah, you know, so I Am Northwest Arkansas is really the podcast I would have wanted to listen to when I moved here in 2014, but it didn't exist.
Right.
And so I decided to create a podcast finally 5 years later in 2019. And I decided to focus on the intersection of business, culture, entrepreneurship, and life here in the Ozarks.
Yeah, and it's really taken off for you.
It has. So now we are, as of the time that we're recording, is 3.5 years into the podcast.
Wow.
Episode 204 will be released on Monday.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? When you look back, I mean, over 200.
So yeah, and this is not my first rodeo. A lot of people don't realize I've been doing podcasting since '09.
Yeah.
So I've done over almost 1,400 podcasts.
Amazing.
I feel that. It's so weird because I come from the old school podcast world, and back then people were like, "What's a podcast?"
Right.
Right.
And you're like, "Trust me, it's going to take over the world." And they're going, "You're crazy."
Right.
And here
right.
we are.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I just it just took time, but it finally kind of firmly planted itself as kind of something to listen to, as a guide. And now I connect with people that I just run into, and they tell me, "Oh, I listened to your podcast before I moved here."
Right.
And I've had executives with some of the big 3 companies tell me, "Yeah, your podcast was the reason why I moved here, because it helped me understand what Northwest Arkansas was all about."
Yeah, people tell us all the time, I saw your show on TV and then I changed the channel. That's what we get. Am I right, Bo? You hear that regularly?
I get pictures all the time, and they go, "Hey, you're on a TV at a sports bar on Saturday night." And I go, "Did you watch it?" "Nah, I just took the picture."
Yeah, I took a picture to show you. But yeah, we get that. I mean, we live in such a
the
great
plight of the
area.
creator.
It is the plight of the creator.
Yeah.
We live in such a great area. There's room for podcasts, TV shows. We're all celebrating, like you mentioned, life in the Ozarks and what that means and what our community is all about.
Yeah, really, it really is. And and the thing that's so amazing about Northwest Arkansas is there's so much interconnectivity, right? I mean, we've connected on other platforms.
Sure, yeah.
I've connected with other peers, creators that are in this area, even with Chef Nate, who is just an amazing human being. But as you guys were talking about earlier, I've been with him on some of those events where we were handing out food to the food insecure here in Northwest Arkansas. And it's the one thing that I say over and over again, and I will continue saying it until the cows come home, is that Northwest Arkansas is one of the most giving places I've ever lived in my life.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. People give their time, their talent, their energy, their effort, you name it. We're a giving community, and I love that about it here.
Yeah.
So if folks want to tune in, how do they do that? How do they find you out there?
So you can easily find the podcast. We're on every major podcasting platform. You can even ask Alexa and say, "Hey, Alexa, play the latest episode of the I Am Northwest Arkansas podcast," and Alexa will oblige you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're on Apple, Spotify, you name it, we're there.
Yeah.
So you can just look us up. You can also go to the website, iamnorthwestarkansas.com. And all of our information is there. We upload show notes so you can get more in depth and you can learn more about our guests. And every week we feature somebody different on the podcast. So we get a chance to feature some amazing organizations, some social movements. We get to feature a lot of nonprofits.
Right.
And we just get to talk to regular people. Sometimes I just through serendipity meet some amazing folks, and I'm like, "Man, your story is amazing. I want to share it on my platform."
Sure.
And just like you have a platform here with Later with Jason Suel, I've started to share my platform with as many people as I can.
And speaking of that, I know that has landed you kind of in good favor with the Northwest Arkansas Council, kind of a partnership.
Yeah, which I'm really excited about. I appreciate you mentioning that. So now I've partnered up. The Northwest Arkansas Council has become a sponsor of the podcast. So they will run commercials on there, creating more awareness around the campaigns like Life Works Here and other events that are happening, especially around affordable housing and workforce development.
Sure.
And then we'll get a chance to just kind of continue to extol all the virtues of Northwest Arkansas and why it's so great. But I'm so excited to partner with the Northwest Arkansas Council. So you'll find my podcast on their website.
Yeah.
And we're going to do some curated podcasts for them that I'll be sharing out. And so we're going to do this kind of cross-platform, if you will, situation. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think the Northwest Arkansas Council's one of the faces of this region.
Yeah.
And they have a hope to continue to grow it. I mean, 32 people a day move here to Northwest Arkansas, and we're going to double in size in the next 20 years.
No doubt, we will. Before we let you go, you're still in the hot seat. Big event happening tomorrow, right? You've got Soup Sunday. Tell us about it.
So my wife, Nicola, my better half, and I were asked to be the Soup Sunday chairs. So what that simply means is that we are tasked with helping to organize everything to get great restaurants like Nate Walls, who's going to be representing his company at the Soup Sunday event, and then also asking people like judges. So the great Jacqueline House,
of course,
your amazing friend, is going to be a judge for the event. So it's a great family event for people to come out. It's very inexpensive. You can eat some amazing soup. And there's just so much to see and do, and there's so many. It's another good way to see the representation of Northwest Arkansas and how everybody kind of comes together for a good cause. And Arkansas Advocate for Children and Families really advocates for the voiceless in our state, throughout the state, the Delta region, Central Arkansas, up here in Northwest Arkansas, those families, those mothers, those kids that don't have a voice. Arkansas Advocate for Children and Families lobbies and advocates for them at the State House level, and we're raising money. I have a stretch goal of $200,000 to raise out of the Northwest Arkansas region, so I'm hoping that happens.
You'll get there.
Soup Sunday, if I can just chime in for a minute, there is no end to charitable events in Northwest Arkansas.
Right. True.
But of all of them, Soup Sunday is the one that feels so passionate and so real. You don't have to wear a sequin dress. You're not out there just to get pictures on the red carpet. You know, it is people being people, enjoying time. There's restaurants out there, like every restaurant imaginable is out there. It is one of the most genuine events. I never miss it. I love that event.
100%. And here's a tip. If you've never been before, you want to take your muffin tray. Because they give you little cups of soup. You can stack them all in that muffin tray.
There's an art to it.
There's
an art to it. Yeah, there is.
Absolutely.
Pro tips.
Pro tips. Yeah, do it. We love it. It's happening on Sunday the 5th.
5th of February. It's 1 week before Super Bowl Sunday.
That's it. All right. Randy, thanks as always for joining us.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for sharing your platform with me. And I just would encourage anyone to listen to I Am Northwest Arkansas podcast. We come out every Monday, rain or shine.
Yes.
And especially if you're trying to convince a family member or a friend to relocate here, or you're an HR specialist and you're trying to recruit people to Northwest Arkansas, have them listen to my podcast. That will do half the job for you.
That is it. We're going to be back after a short break. But right now, Alexa, play the latest episode of the I Am Northwest Arkansas podcast.
Now playing I Am Northwest Arkansas.
Celebrating 10 seasons all year long on Later with Jason Suel. Our musical guest brought to you by Walton Arts Center. Walton Arts Center, presenting the West Street Live series.
Well, your silver had a shine, and you tasted life's sweet wine. But your big adventures ran off long ago, leaving you with a broken down house. If that's heartbreaking and over with doubt and say you want to see me one more time. One more time. Well, I'm right here. I won't be waiting up all night. No, no, you've got your liquor cabinet and your head full of fantasy. Fantasy. You had a brilliant mind, but you drowned it in the beer and wine. I'm wasting no more time on you. You're drowning in the beer and wine. Beer and wine.
Yes, everybody, welcome back. Later with Jason Suel. Down here at the chef's table, we've got Chef Nate joining us, Secondhand Smoke.
Hey,
Thanks for
what's
joining
going
us.
on, y'all? I love being here. I
Yes.
love being here.
We
What took so
love
long,
you
though?
being
What
here.
took so long having you back? I know.
What took so long is you're the busiest guy in Northwest Arkansas.
You are.
Every
Little
time
bit.
I turn on social media, Nate's like, I'm here. I'm
Yes.
doing this. I'm helping people.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and you do the catering business, right? And
Yes.
you got great stuff. We can talk about that, but I also want to talk about your nonprofit
Yeah.
that you run, that you help people with. So, first of all, walk us through your menu. What'd you bring us here today?
Yeah, because I'm going to just
So,
eat this
we
menu.
I thought you
got
would.
some
Got some beans.
ribs, some spare ribs. Got some honey sriracha wings. Got
yes.
a little
Honey
mash
sriracha.
up the sweet potatoes, Brussels
See,
sprouts.
Look at this over
he
here.
went for the wing.
I know, of course.
Ladies and gentlemen,
smoked
the flat.
mushroom Alfredo and spinach. And just some brisket baked beans.
And this
So
is what you do all the time. You make
Yeah.
amazing food like this, like 24/7. You're always doing it.
Oh my God.
it's always just my mom had me doing this since I was 6 years old,
Yeah.
and I always want to just do my best when it comes to that because I always think of her when I'm cooking. So
Yes, that's good.
I grew up the same way. It was my Nana and my mom. I was on a little step stool.
oh yeah.
Getting there, because my Nana always said if I was going to be in the kitchen, I had to help. Otherwise, I was in the way. So,
Have you already pounded two wings?
no,
over there?
I just
Okay.
chose a flat because
Okay, you chose
that's
a
the
flat.
proper wing.
Okay, so
That's
when you go,
the only wing.
oh,
Right.
I'm a
right,
flat
well,
guy.
I disagree, but that's okay. You're feeding wings and ribs to everybody, especially people in need around Northwest Arkansas. Talk to us about your nonprofit and what you do and how that all came about.
So the nonprofit is called Second Helping, and we started back in COVID and just took about $1,000 and just to see what it would do. People are always
That's
talking
where
about
we first
somebody.
met.
Yep. That somebody needs to do something, and sometimes that somebody is you. So we went and did that, and the community just
We
poured
were
into what we were
slinging
doing.
wings out of a back door in the patio because nobody could come inside.
That's right.
And, man,
That was a crazy event.
that was a crazy.
That was a crazy.
We sold out in like 20 minutes.
Yeah. So successful. People would just drive in. It was.
It was
Hey,
wild.
that was amazing.
It
that
was wild.
Yeah.
And you were
that was
talking in
amazing.
the break before we started about how this is also something because people can contribute to it as
Yeah.
well, right? So it's
Yeah.
kind of part of the community, by the community, for the community
Yeah.
that's in need. So how do people help you out or contribute like Bo was doing that day, you know?
Yeah, so we go to underserved communities and feed and see what they need on the other side. So
Right.
And people been able to understand the nonprofit and say, hey, I want to do something like that. I want to contribute. And so food is the vehicle, but we're all helping in all kind of different ways. You can go on the website, secondhelpingnwa.com, and go on there. You can donate. You can volunteer.
Yeah.
You can just come out and see what we're doing. A lot of people getting involved, and I just love this NWA.
That's right, yeah. And we were talking earlier about how this is the season of love, and I feel like food is love, man.
Oh, my
Food brings a
God.
community together. There's
It is
nothing like it.
definitely my love language.
Food brings a lot of stuff together.
Yes.
True.
all the
True.
best
Yeah.
stuff. Okay, so I know you don't want to give away all of your secrets.
No.
But what can you tell us
I
about
will say
your
that-
process?
For a plate that has ribs and wings and baked beans, I gotta say, Nate,
Yeah.
this Brussels sweet potato
Yes.
You like that?
combo,
Yeah.
I
very good.
was like, vegetables, get out of here. That's awesome.
I'm gonna tell you, all this plant-based. It came from my partner Stacey Harper, which went through breast cancer, and I was there to just kind of witness all of that. And we just wanted to curate something that people that really didn't eat meat could really get a chance to taste some smoky goodness, and we were able to do the traditional hardcore stuff and do the stuff new modern stuff too. So the sweet potato and Brussels sprouts, it's awesome. The smoked mushrooms and spinach Alfredo, and then you got your baked beans with some brisket in there. You can hear the crunch and the smokiness.
How long do you smoke this meat for?
Ribs, I normally do about 4 hours.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, I'm gonna smoke this for 8 hours.
Right.
You know, I cook to temperature.
Yeah.
And so when it's done, it's done.
It's done. No need to leave it in there, right?
And the wings are smoked, flash fried, and then whip up the honey sriracha. Done deal.
Whipped up in magic, I'll tell you what. It's so good. Thanks for being here, filling us in.
Where's the next place you're going to be?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So we're gonna do Soup Sunday.
Yes.
We're gonna do Soup Sunday. Last year we won.
do a chili?
And this a low country soup.
A
low country boil soup with corn, potatoes,
you know what?
Chicken.
After
sausage.
that wins again this year, you can just come on back and feed us some of that too, because we'd love to have you.
Because we need a second
let's do
helping
it.
of this.
Yes, absolutely.
Super?
Nate, yes, super. Thanks for being here. Stick around,
It's been
folks.
awesome.
We're going to eat this food, but we'll see you after the break. We got more fun happening later. Yeah, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Later with Jason Suel. Remember, you can find us out there on your social media platforms or send us an email over at laterwithjasonsuel.com. Before we leave, we got to thank our amazing guests, including Randy from I Am Northwest Arkansas. Thanks for being here, Randy.
And of course, Nate from Secondhand Smoke.
Ooh, that's so good. And that music video by Dandelion Heart. That's our show. We'll see you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
Let's get in on this food.